It's Tuesday, June 3rd.
When we hear the Prime Minister talking about being an energy superpower, we haven't heard that kind of language for some time.
Premiers are praising Monday's meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney. The focus, nation-building projects.
Manitoba has, too few hotels to do what we need to do.
Hundreds forced out by wildfires in Manitoba are staying as far away as Niagara Falls as the province desperately looks to free up more hotel space. Smash and grab security footage showing the wild moments around a jewelry store robbery in Ottawa.
I think it's safe to say that we've done a total 180 compared to last year.
And the eyes of the racing world will be on Montreal in about 2 weeks, and Canadian Grand Prix organizers say they're ready. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
I'm Kelsey McEwen. I hope your Tuesday's off to a great start.
Let's talk about the Premier's meeting with the Prime Minister. Canada's Premiers largely appear optimistic after meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney on Monday.
I described him today as Santa Claus. He's coming, and his sled was full of all sorts of stuff. Now he's taking off back to the North Pole. He's going to sort it out.
Well, there you have it. Ontario Premier Doug Ford describing Monday's First Ministers' meeting as, quote, the best they've had in the past decade. So ahead of Monday's meeting, the Prime Minister asked the Premiers for their own ideas on nation-building projects. Big infrastructure projects being considered include expanded shipping ports, railways, highways, new nuclear energy plants, critical mineral development, and pipelines that carry cleaner oil. Prime Minister Carney says Ottawa will pass a bill to fast-track and approve projects within 2 years. Now, there was criticism aimed at the government because First Nations leadership were not included in these discussions, but the Prime Minister says First Nations will be consulted on all projects. Wildfires have forced more people from their homes in Saskatchewan. It's becoming a challenge now to find places for people to stay.
It can be a real challenge, and it can raise some real, some real questions as how to best manage displaced persons.
People are now being told to leave for safety in L'Orange, Air-Range, and Lac-L'Orange Indian Band. So what that does, it adds more than 4,000 people to the 8,000 others already displaced by wildfires in the province. And that number, by the way, may go up as officials at Candle Lake may start ordering people out soon. The Shoe Fire is the biggest fire burning in Saskatchewan. It is burning less than 14 kilometers away from the resort village. A voluntary evacuation advisory is already in place for Candle Lake. Meanwhile, Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew says more hotel rooms will be freed up for people who had to leave their homes because of fire.
Nobody wants to sleep on a cot for more than a day or two, even in an emergency situation. So we're connecting folks who need those enhanced accessibility supports first.
More than 17,000 people in northern Manitoba have been forced out. The province is struggling to find space for everybody right now. Some people are staying in emergency shelters like this one, set up in Winnipeg. Other people are staying in hotels in and outside of the province. In fact, more than 200 people are staying at hotels in Niagara Falls. There's a view. More people are heading there as well. Some evacuees have been told they could be away from home until the end of June, obviously putting more urgency on finding people a more comfortable place to stay. And wildfires in Alberta are threatening homes, causing disruptions to the oil and gas industries.
Even when they come back online, it's going to be difficult for them to ramp up their production enough to make up for that. Now, the good news is the resource remains in the ground and safe and secure.
3 companies, including Cenovus, have been forced to move their workers to safety from the fire that's burning in Lac-La-Biche, in that area in northern Alberta. All 3 companies have had to temporarily shut down production. More than 4,600 people have been forced out. In central Alberta, people who were ordered out of Yellowhead County last week are expected to be allowed to go back home today. And in BC, there are now 74 active wildfires burning in the province.
We also have holdover fires that started 2 years ago in May 2023 and are still burning.
Wow. Half of the wildfires in the province are listed as out of control right now. There are worries that the high winds and dry conditions forecast this week will make the situation even worse. People are being told to check Fire Smart BC to make sure they're ready if a wildfire threatens their community. In other news today, 2 men are in hospital with critical injuries after a trench they were working in collapsed in Toronto.
When we're dealing with trench rescue, we are into a significant amount of earth on the human body. Everyone knows the term crush syndrome. So prior to us doing patient removal, it's vital that we get the medical treatment.
So this happened late Monday morning, so yesterday morning. The workers were buried up to their waists. The first man was hoisted out after about an hour and a half. The second man was pulled out shortly after that. Paramedics say the workers, they do have life-threatening injuries. Meanwhile, one person is dead after a workplace accident at a Metrolinx maintenance yard in Mississauga. This happened shortly after 12 o'clock noon on Monday. Peel police say a man was trapped inside a machine and was later pronounced dead. In a statement, Metrolinx says their thoughts are with the victims' loved ones at this difficult time. The Ministry of Labour is investigating. Some dramatic video to show you now from the moment a truck smashed into a jewelry store on Bank Street in Ottawa. Here it is. So there it is. Whoa. This is part of a, look at the guy walking by. This is part of a smash and grab robbery. With the thieves, they stormed the business after getting in. Security footage shared with CTV News shows the truck being, you saw it, just backed into the front of the store. Multiple masked men entered. They sped off in a silver SUV. This happened on Friday afternoon. Not clear how much was stolen. Organizers of the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal have made some big changes ahead of this year's race.
At the end of the day, what is going wrong, wherever it is, it'll be associated to the event that we're hosting here.
There were, I'm going to say, a number of problems last year during the race. Rain was one of them. Made for a wet, muddy race site. Communications problems left some fans out of the stands during practice runs. So, for this year, race organizers say it's going to be easier for fans to get their seats and access official communications. There will also be more signage. That's good. And a more secure track. Race weekend starts with practice runs on June 13th. We are getting another look at what Happy Gilmore's return to pro golf looks like.
My name is Happy Gilmore. 30 years ago, I decided to give golf a try. But even when you're at the top of your game, you can always shank one. Happy Gilmore sucks.
It just puts a smile on my face. So the first full trailer for Happy Gilmore 2 has now dropped. The full plot of the movie we don't know yet. What we do know, he's returning to potentially pay for his daughter's ballet school. Maybe that's the plot line. Adam Sandler is back as Happy, we know that. Other cast members from the original include Julie Bowen, Dennis Dugan, Christopher McDonald, Ben Stiller, all back in their roles. It starts streaming on July 25th.